I've seen a lot of capers in my day, but this one took the cake. Homicide's my game. Been with the force for over 20 years. Started out like any other case. Some poor Joe had bought it. There he was, slumped over his desk, dead to the world. Yeah, it was clear to me we were dealing with murder one. And there were a bunch of suspects. In fact, the place was crawling with them. And they'd all been in to talk to this dealer that very night. But if my hunch was right, one of them did a lot more than just talk. A lot more. My assistant rounded up the suspects and kept them in the outer office while I got ready to grill them one by one. Now, most of them were customers, but I've dealt with plenty of tough customers in my day, so these birds had nothing on me. I was going to break this case and break it big. I started with the secretary. She was the one who discovered the body. On the surface, she looked innocent enough, claimed she didn't know a thing. One thing I've learned in this business is that appearances can be deceiving. So, when was the last time you saw the deceased salesman?
Just before he died.
And, how did he seem when you saw him last?
He was so happy. He was talking about the new Louisville and Aeromax trucks and how great they were going to be for his customers. That's the way he was. He was always thinking about his customers.
Yeah, sure. So, what made him so happy about these trucks?
Just everything, I think. The overall design, the new improvements.
Did he say anything specifically about what he liked about the trucks?
Well, yes. Yes, he did. He said he was really happy that Cummins had been selected as the new standard and preferred engine supplier.
So what?
Well, Cummins has a complete product line, and all they make are diesel engines, and their training and support is the best in the industry. He said that since Cummins had been selected as the new standard and preferred supplier, that would go a long way toward meeting the needs of his customers. Like I said, he was always thinking of his customers.
Yeah, it didn't look to me like I was going to get any more from her, so I asked my assistant to send in the next suspect. He was one of the customers, a fleet owner from up the road. Runs a truckload carrier operation with about 150 trucks, most of them Ford. That might be the angle. So what brought you in here tonight?
Came in to talk about adding some new trucks to my fleet.
Yeah, so what were you talking about? Price? Is that it? Is that why you killed him? Yeah, it was a stab in the dark. But I'd seen a lot of guys done in over a few bucks, so it was an angle I had to try.
Price is always important, but that doesn't mean I did it. Besides, we weren't talking price yet anyway.
Yeah, well, what were you talking about?
Look, total cost of operation is what drives my business. So we were talking about the new M11 Plus engine.
Yeah, what did he tell you?
I was telling him about the M11s we're already using in our fleet.
Yeah, what about them? Are they dogs? Is that why you did him in?
It's nothing like that. They've been great. We've been very satisfied. He was telling me how the new M11 is even better. It's a lower weight engine, so I can hold bigger loads for a better profit. And they have even better fuel economy. And my M11s are already the most fuel-efficient engines in my fleet, you know.
Yeah, is that a big deal?
Hey, you're darn right it is. I'd kill for an extra tenth of a mile of fuel economy.
Is that so? You'd kill for fuel economy, would you?
I didn't mean it that way. It's, you know, it's just an expression. Anyway, he was telling me that the new M11s are 2 to 3% better than the M11s I already own. Now that's phenomenal. And not only that, the new M11 Plus engines have even more horsepower than any other engines in their class. In fact, all the Plus engines deliver much more horsepower than their rating implies.
I had to think about this. Maybe there was another angle. And then it came to me. Yeah, but to get new engines, you have to get rid of the old ones. Is that it? Did you do him in because he wouldn't take your worthless old engines off your hands?
Look, got it all wrong. Resale's not a problem. Excuse me. Look, I can upgrade my M11s when I get ready to sell them with an electronic calibration change, you know? For better Blue Book value. Heck, with other engine makers, you gotta change pistons, the whole 9 yards. Thanks, pal. Yeah, Cummins makes resale easy.
So, what was it that made you want to do this guy in, huh?
Nothing. Look, I'm darn happy when a salesman gives me this kind of value. I shouldn't kill him. Not when he's helping me run my business more successfully.
It was time to try another avenue. So I asked my assistant to send in the next suspect. I'd seen his type before. A real cowboy. He might just be the bird I'm looking for. So, you were talking to the deceased tonight, eh?
Yeah, I came in to talk with him. What of it?
Hey, I'll ask the questions around here. So what'd the two of you talk about?
I'm looking for a new truck.
And?
So, I was telling him I want a truck that can get up and go. Something that has the power to climb hills. And he was telling me about the new Cummins N14 Plus.
Yeah, well, what did he say?
Well, it's kind of interesting. He told me that Cummins was committed to the high horsepower market. And you know, I just sort of blew him off.
Blew him off? Or blew him away?
Now listen, you got it wrong. You see, I never thought Cummins was that committed to us high horsepower guys. They seem to be into the, fleets. But my salesman was telling me that today Cummins is committed to performance. With 23 horsepower ratings that deliver 1,250 foot-pounds of torque or more, compared to the 3 or 4 they used to have. And what's more, they have fuel economy that's 3% better than before. In fact, they're the #1 engine manufacturer of on-highway engines over 450 horsepower.
Yeah. So what did you think about all that?
Hey, I was dying to hear more.
Dying to hear more, and he wouldn't tell you, and that's why you killed him, right?
Kill him? No, I didn't do it. I just asked him about the horsepower ratings. And he was telling me about the Cummins 5 1/4. That's plenty of horsepower. And some frame twist and torque at low RPM to really get a load moving. And that's important. Because when I put my foot down, I want to go.
All right, so what else did he tell you?
Well, something else he told me really impressed me. And that's the 5-year, 500,000-mile warranty on the big engines. That means Cummins is really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to the big motors.
Money, huh? Is that all that's important to you?
Nah, there's Cummins' nationwide service network, the largest in the industry. They even have a special 800 number just for guys like me. I can call it to find the nearest service location 24 hours a day, anywhere in North America. Heck, the N14 Plus sounded great to me. I was just outside checking out the sleepers on the Aeromax before I placed my order. That's when I heard the shot.
Well, there was still one more suspect, and I had my assistant send him in. He said he ran a delivery operation and was in talking about buying 10 new vehicles. But I had a feeling he knew more than he let on. So, you were talking about new trucks. Anything else?
Yeah, we talked about a few problems I had with my FD engines that were just killing me.
Killing who? Oh, so you had a few problems. Is that what set you off? Is that what did it?
No, it's nothing like that. These are things that are all taken care of. In fact, I was darn happy with the way Ford and Cummins responded.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
Well, some of my drivers complained about vibration, so they came out with these new high-tech engine mounts. They're molded or voided or something. All I know is they got holes in them, and the holes have got to be at the top.
Anything else?
Well, on some of my 93 trucks, the drivers didn't feel like they had enough get up and go. So one day, my salesman comes in with this Ford hotline bulletin about a service repair practice. But we did the service and the complaints were gone. And on my newer trucks, the 94s and the 95s, well, the performance is great. So it's something that they really went to work on and took care of. It was all my fault anyway.
Oh?
I should have bought the higher horsepower trucks to begin with.
New trucks. Higher horsepower. Could be something here that doesn't meet the eye. So you had to buy new trucks, and the cost of that higher horsepower is what set you off. Is that it, huh?
Nothing set me up!
Are you sure about that?
Yes, absolutely! He was telling me about the 96 trucks, and the price it's set to encourage us to buy higher horsepower trucks. So everyone will be happier, especially the drivers.
4 suspects, 4 different stories, and the thing was, they all rang true. But they can't all be true, can they? I mean, somebody committed the crime, didn't they? Like I said before, the case of the murdered Ford salesman was a tough one. So how about it? Do you have a solution? Was it the secretary?
He was so happy.
Could be. She was the last to see him alive. But she said the salesman was really happy that Cummins had been selected as the standard and preferred engine supplier. She said that would go a long way in helping him meet the needs of his customers. And I didn't hear anything that sounded like a motive to me, but who knows? How about the fleet owner?
I'd kill for an extra 1/10 of a mile of fueling.
Well, I'll tell you. This guy sounded a bit suspicious to me, especially when he said he'd kill for fuel economy. But then he tells me the M11s post the best fuel economy in his fleet, and that he likes the new M11 Plus engines. They're low-weight engines, so he can haul bigger loads for better profits, and they deliver more horsepower for better performance. And not only that, he tells me he can upgrade his M11s with a simple electronic calibration change for a top resale value. So you tell me, is this the kind of guy who's gonna knock off his salesman? Or how about this guy, the owner-operator?
And you know, I just sort of blew him off.
Well, at first, he tells me he sort of blew off the salesman. Now, does that mean he did him in? And if he did, why? He says he's impressed by Cummins' commitment to the high horsepower market, with more high horsepower ratings than ever before. And he especially likes the Cummins 5 1/4. He likes the 5-year, 500,000-mile warranty on Cummins high horsepower engines, and the special 800 number that delivers round-the-clock support for owner-operators while they're on the road. So what do you think? Is he the one? Or maybe it's this guy, the transportation manager.
Nothing set me off! Yes!
He seemed a little defensive to me. But then again, he says that Ford and Cummins resolved the complaints, and that impressed him. And that on his 94 trucks, the performance is great. Then he tells me he thinks the pricing on the 96 trucks is so good, he can buy his new trucks with more horsepower. So what do you think? Did he do it? 4 suspects, 4 different stories. Or was there something I missed? Hello? Oh, hi, honey. What time is it? No, I guess I fell asleep. Boy, wait till I tell you about this really weird dream I had. Yeah, I'll be home in a couple of minutes. All right, bye. Boy. I must be working too hard. Ford trucks, Cummins power. It's a dream come true.